The Police Minister, Senzo Mchunu, saying police will intensify their efforts to root out all illegal miners who remain underground at Stilfontein. Today, the North Gauteng High Court dismissing an NGO's application to compel the government to extract the Zamazamas and provide them with humanitarian relief. The Minister Mchunu was speaking during the release of the crime statistics for the second quarter of the 2024-2025 financial year. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo attended that briefing, and she is with us in studio this afternoon. Ziyanda, good afternoon to you. For me, at least the biggest takeaway is that the Western Cape has surpassed KZN as the crime capital of the country, and we can't forget the Eastern Cape, somewhere in between there. Your biggest takeaway from these latest crime stats?
Yeah, so, I mean, in general, yes, you could argue that the Western Cape has taken over as the crime capital. If you look at contact crimes in the statistics that were unpacked today. So contact crimes, as defined by the police, is crimes in which the victims are the targets of violence or instances where the victims are in the vicinity of property that criminals target. So that could be anything from murder, attempted murder, to common assault, robbery. Now, if you look at, the reporting of crimes in terms of the top 30 stations, that's where the Western Cape now has topped it. At the top is Mfuleni. And its provincial position, it's #1. That's where a lot of contact crimes are reported, which is in the city of Cape Town. Then it's Delft after that, which is still in the city of Cape Town. Then it's Inanda, but Nyanga's also there in the top 5. So top 5 of the police stations in the Western Cape are reporting a lot of crime. However, of course, if you look at other crimes such as rape, Inanda still remains the rape capital of South Africa. Those statistics have not changed. But overall, there has been a decrease in murder, attempted murder, and assault with the intent to do grievous bodily harm. But it's more, they've drilled down in terms of the details. So how much of it is affecting women, how much of it is affecting children, but certainly the Western Cape coming up quite a bit when it comes to, issues of common assault, murder, and attempted murder.
We'll be having a conversation with the authorities in KZN. This is something that perhaps they will be slightly relieved about, to at least learn that they're not the only ones. It's nothing to celebrate, though. But
Inanda is still #1.
Yeah, Inanda.
For murder. So Inanda is still #1. But it's really close, because then Philippi East in the Western Cape is #2. So it's really very close, especially if you look at the per capita ratio. That's where the Western Cape is leading, hands down. So it's a very interesting outlook, but the minister really satisfied with the decrease, but still saying there's a lot of work that needed to be done. So for instance, in all 9 provinces, there was an increase in commercial crimes, so fraud and money laundering, all 9 provinces. But there's been a decrease in cash and transit heists, in particular in a province like KwaZulu-Natal, where they've always been leading. They are still leading, but there is a decrease nonetheless.
Illegal mining. That, in part, would have been the number of questions coming from yourselves to the minister, how they plan to deal with that matter decisively. What did he have to say?
Lots of questions about Stilfontein and, of course, the food contamination issue. So let me start with Stilfontein, because there were lots of questions around, okay, how long do you plan on staying there for? Because, there are figures bandied about that it's costing around $1 million a day to have officials there. I mean, that was what one of the journalists had asked, that, it is a costly exercise to have authorities there. So how long are you keeping authorities there? What exactly, is the plan? And in essence, the police minister quite emboldened, I think, by the outcome of the North Gauteng High Court to say, well, we are correct in the approach that we have taken. We cannot send people down there into a dangerous situation, but also trying to really bring about the balance to say there are circumstances circumstances clearly after some of them emerged, the 14 that emerged yesterday. There are circumstances such as poverty and unemployment that would have driven them to actually, take such action. And so he's saying, in essence, that they're going to find the balance. So let's listen to what else he had to say earlier.
Illegal mining remains a significant threat to our economy and public safety in a number of ways. The Ministry's oversight inspection at the Stilfontein shaft has brought renewed focus on this issue. We are satisfied that South African Police Service and the department as a whole, that their actions in Stilfontein are all in keeping with the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and the laws thereof. Now, what we want to say is that no legal miner will remain underground forever. Now, we need to optimize, in order to achieve this, our cooperation and coordination with all those concerned, including the private sector, including DMR, including other government departments, and including communities in the affected area and other areas we are going to be venturing to.
Perhaps one area to conclude this conversation on, Ziyanda, is gender-based violence. Today marking the start of another round of 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children. Deputy President emphasizing that this indeed is the country's #1 pandemic. Are police able to make inroads in dealing with that?
So there has been a decrease of just over 3%, according to what the police told us today, the police minister. But there has been an acknowledgement, and I think there's been a lot of disappointment, especially with the reports about how, the Lusikisiki matter could have been planned right from a prison cell. There has been a serious, emphasis that the minister put on the sister departments being justice, being home affairs, and I'm forgetting the last one now. Justice and Home Affairs coming together.
Possibly correctional services.
Exactly. Correctional services. Actually, it's mainly correctional services because, they're effecting these arrests, even in Stilfontein, the processing of, all these people who have been arrested, most of whom we now know are foreign nationals. He was just talking about the level of agility, some departments saying, oh, we don't do that, but you need to be agile in abnormal circumstances. And so that is also the case, I guess, with gender-based violence, as you've already asked, really just pushing on, and having an integrated approach, because even the state capture failures also came up in that briefing.
Ziyanda Ngcobo giving us a full picture of crime in the country, but couple that with corruption matters and also, importantly, safeguarding women and children. Thank you very much to Ziyanda Ngcobo.